Hello, my Aloha tribe, and welcome to the Aloha Perspective, where you get a little bit of something and a whole lot of everything. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday. Still trying to get my mental juju back here. Sorry, forgot my watch. All right. It is Oracle Thursday. I'm going to wait for a few of my regulars to come on, and then we're going to roll through the thing. So while I'm doing that, I remembered my Aloha cards. And again, just a reminder, I'm still trying to recombobulate here after being discombobulated for far too long. And so, I just wanted to ask you all for a little bit of patience while I get my brain back together here. All right. So, all right, let's see. Okay. One more. So Actions of Aloha cards are a reminder that Aloha is found in our everyday lives. Through simple acts, we can share kindness and compassion with our ohana and our kaiulu. So each card is a daily reminder to share aloha with those around you. So kaiulu is community, and of course, you know, ohana is family. If you've seen Lilo and Stitch, you know. So anyway, so just while I wait for people to come on, here you go. So Actions of Aloha. Draw a rainbow and color it in. Good morning, Muddy. Okay. See, I don't feel so bad now. I hope you feel better, really, because I know we both know how this feels. So it's like, nah, right? So draw a rainbow and color it in. That might help you, Muddy. Draw a rainbow. Tell a joke to a friend. Okay, so I have a really stupid joke. Learn and share a new Hawaiian word. So we'll start simple, ohana. All right, for those of you who do not know what ohana is, or mahalo. Mahalo means thank you. So, you know, you have 3 words now. Or kaiulu, Kaiaulu, which is community. So, you know, and there's a big word for you, community. So, anyway, okay, I have a stupid joke. A priest, a rabbit, and wait, what was it? A priest, a lawyer, and a rabbit walk into a bar, and the rabbit says, "I think I'm a typo." I'll let you think about that one for a second. I think it was a priest, a rabbit, and a minister. So a priest, a rabbit, and a minister, and the rabbit says, "I think I'm a typo." And, you know, here, I'll help you out just in case. It's usually a rabbi, not a rabbit. So anyways, all right, that's my dumb joke for the day. But I have to tell you, and you saw it just now, it made me laugh. So Oracle Guidelines. Good morning, Allie. Good morning, older sibling. So I had a really good talk with older sibling today, and she's not feeling well. So if you guys could send her some good juju, I would appreciate that very, very much. So Oracle Guidelines. Number 1, do not worry where the message is coming from. I only work from a good place. So if you're seeing this, there's a reason you are here. Number 2, do not make a card fit your question if it does not resonate with you. Forcing an outcome or an answer not meant for you can cause unnecessary stress and overthinking. Number 3, I will give you the message I receive and the message from the book because someone took the time to write it and put it together. And number 4, angels, God, heaven, etc. might come up. Feel free to insert your higher power or the universe. This will help the flow of the reading without stopping to clarify. So I know a lot of people don't necessarily resonate with religion. So if it does come up, just replace it. And, oh, thank you, Allie. Allie says I look happier today. I feel happier today. Like I said, sibling and I had a good talk this morning, but also I am finally coming out of my funk, but my brain, like I have more than one. My brain is, as you can see, still trying to figure out how to fire itself off. So anyway, so Sammy, I'm going to show you this really quick. I had the opportunity to go home for a day or two, for 2 nights, 2 different nights, this weekend. Because sibling came with us to the concert, my cousins and I. Well, my cousin, my nephew, and I. And so I got to go home. And I went home and I exchanged out some of the decks I had for different fresh decks. But I decided to keep the dragons in here because I think it's the only dragon one I have. Oh no, I do have another dragon one. I forgot. But, you know, this one was at the top of my head. So, Sammy, I brought that back for you. I also have the Enchanted Unicorn deck, which is my favorite. This is my favorite because these unicorns, they're hilarious. They are so cute. Oh, I didn't realize I brought the magical unicorns. And healing with the fairies, which we're going to start with. So let's heal with the fairies. Okay, no, nobody's praying for the Dodgers to win. All right, we're paying for you to feel better. Oh, seriously. You can tell I'm not a Dodger fan. My team's out. I don't care about baseball anymore. Which is not true because Toronto beat the Yankees yesterday, which I'm very happy about because I hate the Yankees. I hate the Yankees more than I don't like the Dodgers. So anyways, we're done with sports and rivalries. Sibling, I am. Okay, it's good to know that she's feeling... Okay, so your guys' juju and good vibes must be working because this thing is feeling sassy right now. So, like I said, the first deck I use, I always try to pull 5 cards. I usually don't read the book on these because they're just kind of to get us into the feel of it and see what we can create out of it. So, let's see. Sorry, hold on one second. I'm kind of multitasking here, so, yeah. Oops, not what I meant to do. Okay. Number 1. Financial flow. All right, that's a good card to have because I know we all definitely are, you know, being like, I could really use some financial flow. All right, so you know what? Let's just read the book on these. What the hell? Oops, I went right by it. I mean, I usually give my interpretation of it, but pretty obvious, right? Pretty obvious. It's a pretty card though. I mean, look at it. Oh, what sport is that? Sorry, I'm UK. Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's baseball. It's baseball. And we're in postseason now. So we're in playoff season now, and older sibling is, as most of you know, just really, I mean, we're not really siblings. She's my best friend. I've known her for over 20 years and she is like an older sister to me. But sadly, she's also a Dodger fan, so yeah, can't have everything in a sister. But anyway, I love her anyway. But anyway, I'm sorry. Okay, I'll stop. But yes, it's baseball. And in case you guys are wondering, that's a football jersey. Not soccer football, but American football. And that's Justin Herbert's number. So he's the quarterback for my Chargers. So anyways, okay, continuing. Financial flow. You have manifested a new sense of abundance in your life. Any financial blocks have successfully been removed and you are now in the flow of increased prosperity. Congratulations. So whoever needs this, wow. Okay. I am not going to complain. This is pretty awesome. So here's the thing. Okay. Because look, even the wall just knocked. So I think that was somebody going, yes, you're on it. You are on it. So here's the thing though. Okay, when you want financial flow, when you need that financial flow, you have to not worry about where it's coming from, because I think that's really what kind of blocks us all, is that we're worrying about where it's going to come from. We're freaking out about how to get it, and then we start focusing. It's like, what do I need to do? I have so much on my plate. I can't do this. I can't do that because I don't have this or that. And when you do that, you automatically block your flow. What we need to do is just kind of settle in, and like we said yesterday, trust the process. And I know trusting the process can be hard. I struggle with trusting the process. I even have it on my lock screen on one of my widget things, you know, trust the process, so that I see it all the time. But you know, sometimes it becomes so ingrained in us that we do forget, you know, it just becomes another thing that we see and then we don't think about it. So, it's really important if this is something that resonates with you, this card, that you absolutely 100% trust the process and how it's going to work out. Okay. So your finances are moving up to a new level. You have been praying for increased flow and have been visualizing greater wealth. Your positive thoughts and desires have resulted in a rich vein of abundance coming your way. This good fortune not only applies to money, but also to increased opportunities in your personal and professional life. The fairies, who are supreme experts in manifestation, advise you to keep a positive and joyful heart as you experience your wonderful new state. Continually affirm, I graciously accept good into my life right now, and I deserve abundance. I'll put these in the Facebook comments, all right? If you find this financial flow ever becomes interrupted, ask the fairies to help you adjust your thoughts and emotions so you can graciously and willingly accept all of the gifts that you so richly deserve. And the affirmation, I am financially secure. I am supported abundantly today and every day in my future. So like I said, I'll put these in the comments on Facebook. I love fairies. Fairies are amazing. They can be assholes, but they're also amazing. So, you know, don't piss off a pair. Okay, look, this is metaphysical day. Okay. This is metaphysical day and this is oracle day. But, if you don't believe in fairies, you can think of them as little nature angels. All right. Little tiny nature angels, but do not piss them off. They're like the nature angels with attitude. So vacation. Okay. So now that you got your abundant flow, take a vacation. Or plan one. Sometimes when we plan things, the flow comes. We don't know how it's going to happen, but it just does. Case in point, all right? 9 years ago, I went to London. I wanted to see a play. I literally had the tickets for the play because sibling was supposed to come with me until I told her, no, this is a time of growth for me. I'm sorry, but I'm uninviting you. It was terrible, but it was good for my soul. And I needed that time alone. Which I didn't realize I needed, but it was not long after Mom and Sissy Joe died, and I was spiraling hard. And I think it helped me find some clarity while I was there, or at least started my healing journey. But I had the tickets before I had anything done. I bought the tickets in December. The play the day I was going was in March, and somehow in that span of time, I was able to put together a flight, a decently priced flight, and a place to stay. And I don't know how I did it, but I poofed it and made it happen, which should be kind of my, you know, I don't know, my big aha moment, that when we really, really focus on something that we really, really want, poof, you know. Oh yeah, don't forget to clap, because, you know, well, that's Peter Pan though. I mean, do we really have to clap? Does that really, you know, make a fairy, I don't know. I forgot how that went on Peter Pan. I have to watch that again. It's been so long. I literally, I have, It's a Wonderful Life in my head. Every time you hear a bell ring, an angel gets their wings. It's confusing it with the, you know, clap for the fairies. But vacation. So either a vacation is coming up for you, or, you know, just start manifesting one. Start manifesting a nice little getaway, a holiday, whatever it is. But just know that you deserve it. Remember what it says about financial flow. You deserve it. You know, you've earned it. All right. So just trust the process and believe in it. Okay. Positive expectations. Positive expectations. Okay, so seriously, these are all really starting to go together. Positive expectations can continue the abundant flow, right? Make new friends, making new friends. And you never know what opportunity that can lead to. It could lead you to your person. It could lead you to your favorite job. It could lead you anywhere in the world, you know. But when you make new friends, please, if they have a van and it has no windows, do not get in. All right. Seriously, I've been watching way too much Criminal Minds, but half the time I sit there and go, I know it's a scripted show, but who the fuck gets into a van that has no windows? Unless you know the person. And I only say that because my uncle's work van, when I was a teenager, was like it was a minivan, but he had, he was a gardener. He was a professional gardener, or landscaper. That's it. He was a landscaper. And, so he didn't really need anything because they had a family car, but It was the only one big enough when my grandma, my cousin, and I came to visit for us to go because they had a bowling tournament, big time in the South, right? But anyways, but yeah, we were they lived in West Virginia, so you had a Filipino from Hawaii in West Virginia, and but yeah, it was an eye-opening experience because that town was small, and my cousin is from Honolulu, and I'm from San Diego. I mean, and he's 17, or I'm 17, and he's like 12, almost 13, and we're just kind of like, wow, this place is tiny. Oh, that's so sad. I mean, who puts that in a Disney movie? If you're friends with a fairy and they start to lose their light if you don't clap they start to lose their light if you don't clap your hands, they die. Okay, so clap your hands. You know what? Just applaud for them. Why the hell not? Allie likes, these cards are pretty awesome. But making new friends. And Allie is like a new friend. 20 something years ago, Sammy was a new friend. 20 something years ago, older sibling was a new friend. So see, making new friends can be a good thing and can lead you to, your thing. So, yeah, see, who gets into a windowless van with a stranger? It almost makes me laugh because that is so stupid. It is. I mean, literally, guys, I don't even park next to vans. Okay. And I mean, even if it's a minivan and you see a mom and all her kids coming out, I will not park next to a van. I will not park next to a van. And I mean, I don't know if it's because TV conditioned me or what, but it's just kind of like, I was just begging for trouble, because when you're parked in America, okay, when you're parked next to a van, if you're on the right side, that's where the damn door is. No, thank you. I've done incredibly stupid things in my life, but there are some things I just won't do. I still do incredibly stupid things. And last one, trust your intuition. Trust your intuition. So you see, these all go together. We have financial flow, which I put in the book, so I don't forget to put the quotes in the comments, or the affirmations in the comments. And I highly suggest it, whatever medium you're watching this on. These are all public, so you can come onto my Facebook under Shelly Marie Lucas, and you can find all these. If I remember, I'll put it in the YouTube comments as well, because you can also find them in there. But if you don't have Facebook. So here we have financial flow in the book, vacation, or we should put that last, right? I always try to, I say we because we're all talking, right? So, okay, all right. Okay. I'm trying to figure out which way these should go. So financial flow is first, and then, have positive expectations, okay? Allow yourself to believe that this is possible. Allow yourself to believe that financial security, or just an abundant flow coming in consistently, is meant for you. Okay. It may not feel like it, but like it says, it's not always just money. It could be somebody bringing you something. It could be somebody giving you something. It could be someone just doing something kind for you that, that you don't have to pay for. So, or coupons, right? There's those things, or if it's your birthday month, which, by the way, happy birthday, Eve. Allie, tomorrow's her birthday. Happy birthday, Eve. I've been really bad at being on Facebook when I'm not on my show. So if I forget to wish you happy birthday tomorrow, I promise you it's not on purpose. So I will do my best to get on to wish you happy birthday tomorrow. But just in case, happy birthday. So, but anyways, so yeah, keep your positive expectations, trust your intuition, and as things start to go and start to flow in your direction, you can go on vacation and make new friends, because you never know who you might meet. How exciting was that? I love that deck. That was one of my favorites. I love fairies. I do. They're sassy, but I love them. And people are probably like, fairies aren't real. Want to bet? Want to bet? And so here's something interesting. My nephew saw one when he was little, but she was just a light. But I remember we were talking, And we were talking about fairies, and I'm like, I think I might have one, and I think it might be that's little light, this flash of light I see so often in my room when my room is dark. And then all of a sudden my nephew says to his mom, Mom, I see a fairy. And he couldn't hear our conversation. But she's all, how do you know? He's all, well, I just see her little light. And that's all he said. I just see her little light. But he's all, there's also a boy. And we were talking about both of those. So I was just kind of like, validation from a 5-year-old. So, you know, you can believe what you want. I'm not crazy. I believe what I want. And, you know, I'm kind of a person that it's like I have to, part of my problem is that I have to be able to see it and touch it for it to be real. But on this spiritual journey I've been on, it's been fascinating to know that, or to see what happens when we just kind of trust what's around us. So, like I said, if you're not comfortable with the term fairy, just think of them as little nature angels, okay? Ooh. Oh, that's a good one. It flipped upwards. All right, one more spin around this block. See if anything comes out. Nope, but it's weird. I feel like there's one more. Maybe that's it. All right. Ooh, they're very, very wordy. Yeah, see, children often see them first as they are pure and innocent. Absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, I mean, come on. We know, look, there are some good fairies, and there are some fairies, like I said, that are just plain old assholes. And, but I think the reason is I wouldn't show myself to someone who doesn't believe in me. Hell no. It's kind of like, why would I waste my time? You know, that's what I said. They're like the sassy winged ones. Okay. I do have a little guardian fairy, and ooh, I love her, but boy, talk about, she got mom attitude. But anyway, practice. The best way to be good at a skill is to practice until you get it right. This is boring. Who else feels like this is not the card? So I feel like that's very specific to somebody. You know, whenever I feel like it's not vibing with the reading, I feel like it's for someone else. So if you are struggling in something, okay, don't quit. Just keep practicing, because it does get better. It really does get better. Practice makes perfect, right? When I was younger, I played the violin for several years. I loved playing the violin. Now, as an only child, I spent a lot of time by myself sometimes if I got bored watching whatever my parents were watching, and I would just go to my room and I would just play. And because of that, I ended up advancing into the adult classes very, very, very quickly. But somehow that just got away from me, and I'm sad about it because I really enjoyed playing that. But practice makes perfect. So, you know, the more you do it, the better you will be at it. So whoever needed this card, don't quit on yourself. Okay, keep going. If it is your passion, keep going. So, oh, there you go. There you go. Okay, Allie, see, maybe it was you. This card was specifically for you. She just bought a lot of craft kits to practice with and hopefully get her head back in it. Yeah. So there you go. Maybe, okay. So now we know. At least we know who this card was for. You. So I'll read it for you. Where's the book? Oh, there it is. Wait, my brain. Practice. Right to the page. The best way to be good at skill. Oh, we already read that. Do you want to know why some people are really good at sports, music, or art? They practice these skills a lot. This card is a sign that you need to practice the skill that's important to you so that you can be really good at it. As you practice, some days you'll feel stronger than others, yet you'll notice that your skills improve the more you use them. So have patience with yourself and your teachers. It may take time for you to learn how to do something in the best way. Practice really is the best way to improve your skills. As you practice, you'll learn new ways and methods. You'll also enjoy yourself more as you get better and better at your new skills. So whether your dream is to paint, write, dance, sing, or do crafts, practice is one way to make your dreams come true. That's probably for me too, because I love to write. But also, because you're talking about crafts and your kits, don't be afraid to just step outside of the box. You know, I know a lot of times they give us directions, but if there's something that you think would look kind of sassy or snazzy or whatever, go for it. Go for it, you know. When it comes to arts and crafts, writing, singing, dancing, art, you know, painting, drawing, whatever, photography, we're given guidelines, you know, and then we figure out how to interpret them for our own use, for our best use, and how it, you know, meshes and matches into our lives. So don't be afraid to step outside of that box. And I'm proud of you for doing that. I know you've been through a lot too. So, you know, it's just about getting back into our heads and getting back into our hearts and finding that center again. So you are gifted. You are intelligent and talented. Whoever needs that, you are intelligent and talented. And I believe in you. I believe in you. And if you don't feel intelligent and talented, practice. And I don't mean practice being intelligent and talented. Practice believing in yourself so that you can see your intelligence and your talent. Because sometimes we don't believe in ourselves enough and we just kind of be like, oh yeah, whatever, you know. So you are gifted. I love that card. I love that card because, you know, it's just saying, hey, you know what, for whoever needs that pep talk, you are worth it and you are gifted. It was pretty, wasn't it, Sammy? So this card wants you to know that you're very intelligent. Like a high-speed computer, you have the ability to learn and memorize a lot of material. You're especially gifted in finding out which topics interest you. You also have the gift of creativity. With your wisdom and your ability to see things in a special way, you can be successful at almost anything. You have a different way of learning, so you may have had experiences in which you didn't feel you were smart. It's just a matter of figuring out how your mind works. For instance, do you think in pictures? If so, you'll need to learn material by seeing them in your mind's eye. Or do you tend to think in feelings? If so, you'll learn best by hearing emotional stories or by touching and feeling examples of what you're learning about. If you don't understand, you don't let it bother you. What's important is that you remember who you are, a smart, wise, talented, and gifted person. Although you may be different from other people, you have a lot to offer. Use your talents to help others, finish any projects that you start, and know that you're a gift to the world in many special ways. All right? Remember that. Ooh, light. Oh, wow. Okay, so seriously, I'm just going to say this. If Farrah Fawcett was a unicorn, she'd be this one. Seriously. I mean, look at that thing. Look at that beautiful unicorn. He's just like, yeah, baby, or she is. I am golden and my hair is flowy. My mane is flowy. But yeah, I mean, come on. That's like a Farrah Fawcett hairdo horse. And I don't mean that in a mean way because she was pretty awesome. Loved Charlie's Angels growing up. So anyways, but yeah, I cannot get over this card, this unicorn. It's just like, wow. So be the light. Be the light for yourself or for someone else or for both of you. Be a light to people you don't know. Be a light to the world. The world needs a lot of light right now because there's a lot of dark shit happening out there. And it's a little overwhelming, right? Right? So see the light within yourself and everyone else. So the only way to see the light in other people is to start finding it in yourself. And if that means healing, if that means doing shadow work, then do what you need to do to find your light, okay? As someone said to me, you cannot you cannot pour from an empty cup. Well, you cannot shine a light with dead batteries. Okay, so, okay, so we have feedback on the card. Sammy says that unicorn has high maintenance hair, LOL. Seriously, right? As older sibling would say, she probably has a crew. She probably has, makeup, a team, hair and makeup team. And Allie says, if I come back as a unicorn, I want to look like that. Seriously, right? Like the golden unicorn. This is like the unicorn that all the other unicorns climb the mountain to see. I mean, who does not want to be that unicorn? Of course, like we said, he or she probably has we'll just say they, have a makeup and hair team, because come on, seriously, that is some high maintenance hair. But it's like a L'Oreal commercial for unicorns. So oh, that's why I love oracles, because we all just go in 5,000 directions and it's hilarious. So light. Everyone has a beautiful light within them. Ugh. Okay, I'm gonna try that again. Everyone has a beautiful light within them, no matter what they look like or how they act. This light is pure. The more you focus on the light within others, the more you can help them be healthy and happy. You can also protect your loved ones, yourself, and your belongings by imagining them surrounded by light. This card may mean that you or someone you love is in a situation with harsh energy right now and they need extra spiritual protection. Imagine them in an eggshell covering of light in your favorite color, or choose one of these: white light to protect, green light to heal, and purple light for a better night's sleep. So I have to tell you, and so the older sibling, as I mentioned, has not been feeling well. So one of my favorite things to do is to white light myself every morning before I get out of bed. And so I white lit her, and then I colored it in green. So it's like she's surrounded by white light in my vision, and then I filled it with green light to heal her. So, you know, it's I just love this. Feels like validation. Sorry. So anyways, as you focus on seeing and feeling light within yourself and everyone, you'll notice a positive change in your life. For example, people will treat you better, your family members will seem happier, and you'll sleep better at night. And this really isn't wrong, right? Because your light is kind of your attitude. And attitude reflects that light. So are you feeling all kinds of sassy, and, you know, you got your sassy pants on and you're ready to just go out there and go, yeah, baby, I am ready to do this? Or are you feeling kind of like the world hates me and I hate it back? So if you're feeling kind of the world hates me and I hate it back, you need to change that, because that means your light is having some problems. Okay, your light is dimmed, and that's not good, because like we said, right, we cannot pour from an empty cup. And so you cannot pour, you know, you cannot shine a light with dead batteries. So it's the closest I could come to it making sense. But anyways, be the light. But also let people share their light with you. Okay, you don't always have to be the flashlight. You know, you can allow other people in to be it for you. Oh, Allie, because I'm worth it. The L'Oreal commercial. Yes, exactly. Can you see that unicorn doing this? I can totally see that unicorn doing that. Well, that made me dizzy. But anyways, okay. So for the love of dragons, we're going to do the dragon oracle. I'm saving my favorite one for last. Okay. Anything? The dragons are feeling left out, apparently. There we go. I was going to say, are the dragons feeling left out? Because we're talking about the fairies today. All right. Come on. So what should my title be for my show today? Fairies, dragons, and unicorns with fabulous hair? I think so. All right, one more shuffle. Somebody said one more shuffle. All right. Seriously. I just wanted to get through one deck without having to pull 3 cards. Anyway, all right. So let's see. We'll pull them in the order they appeared. The Sunstormer. Ooh, that one's pretty. Oops. Sorry about that. Ooh. There you go. The Sunstormer. So these I just have to read because I don't know, but I like it. Although she looks like she's either standing in fire or creating it, or I don't know. I know, fairies, dragons, and unicorns. Oh my, seriously, it's like our own version of the Wizard of Oz. But can you imagine that grouping though? Fairies, dragons, and unicorns. Oh, wow. Someone needs to write a story about that. So anyways, the sun generates enough energy in one day to supply all the machines of the earth for 1,000 years. This is the planet of abundance. The radiance available to you each day can create opportunities, openings, and awarenesses. Sorry, I'm going to start this over. The sun generates enough energy in one day to supply all the machines of the earth for 1,000 years. This is a planet of abundance. The radiance available to you each day can create opportunities, openings, and awareness that were not there the day before. All it takes is an appreciation of the abundance already provided for you. The earth turns on its axis without your help. The sun shines and makes energy for you to use without your influence or direction. Allow yourself to be filled with radiance and shine like the sun. This is how your own light defeats the dark. So there you go. I don't know what happened. It just kind of zoned out for a second while I was reading that. Bless you. Sorry, my dad is sneezing. Okay, so all it takes is the appreciation of the abundance already provided for you. So whatever you have, even if you feel like you don't have enough, be grateful for it. Got a roof over your head? Be grateful for it. Got water? Be grateful for it. Got electricity? Be grateful for it. Okay, no matter what your house may look like, no matter, what you feel is going on in the world right now, no matter what, be grateful for everything you have in this moment at this time, because that will help bring that abundance to you. We talked about this with the financial flow. You have to be grateful for whatever you have, even if it is scarce and minimal. Okay, because that means you have something. So just appreciate everything you have. So let's see, the Moon Dancer. I like this card. It's very pretty, but I'm a fan of purple. So, but there's just something fascinating about it. So the Moon Dancer. So that's interesting, right? We got the Sunstormer, and now we have the Moon Dancer, and the last card, the Fairy Tale List. See, fairies. I think we've had the Fairy Tale List before. My favorite is the one where the dragon is sipping out of the coffee cup. Yeah. But anyways, this is interesting because I'm trying to figure out how to put these together, because we had the sun and the moon. And those are two things that are very significant, because they're two things we see every day. We see the sun every day. We see the moon every day. Even if the moon is dark, okay, we know it's there. But, I feel like there's a message in there somewhere. Gotta figure out how to noodle it out of my head. So, now is the time for dreaming and moon bathing. Mother Moon is a friend to all dragons, for she incubates their dreams and grows wings for all their wishes. She can do the same for you. Take a walk in her radiance, bask in her glow, have a conversation with her about all the untold stories in your soul and the wishes waiting to grow wings. Let her have the full-hearted hope of you. Ask her to guide you through the dark night, bringing luminosity to all that's currently unknown, unseen, or unformed. So this one asks you to believe, and this one is telling you that when you do that, you're going to manifest. All right. So our overall readings today really feel like it's a manifesty thing, like, abundance of all, coming from all directions, abundance in all different forms. So, a lot of times we don't have a theme. It's just kind of, a reading, and people they take what they need from it, or, they get the validation they need from it. But this one all seems to be pointing in the same direction, that when you trust the process, you're going to create the flow. But you have to believe, and you have to appreciate it. But you can't have dreams if you don't think about them, if you don't create them, right? The universe can't say, or, your higher power can't say, well, I can't bring this to you because I don't know what blank is. And by blank, I mean, it's like, well, I would just like things to be better. Be more specific, okay? You got to be more specific, whether it's financial flow, whether it's, family relationships, whether it's friendships, whether it's life in general. I would like to have more clarity in my life. I would like to have, just across the board, whatever it is, work relationships, or even if you need a job, please place me into the right job. Be specific, all right? Because I'm just going to say the universe, all right? The universe can't bring you what it doesn't know you need. It's not, it matches your vibe, okay? Remember that. It will match your frequency. It will match your vibe. So if you're vibing low, if you are thinking nothing great ever happens to me, nothing good ever happens to me, you're going to keep drawing that in. This is why healing is so important. And I don't mean physical healing. I mean spiritual healing. I mean soulful healing. Okay? And when I say spiritual, I mean across the board. I don't mean religion. I mean, getting back into your center, getting back into who you are, and cleaning out all that ick, you know, just kind of washing it all away and saying, okay, look, you know what? I can't change what happened yesterday or the day before or even the day before or even 5 years ago and before that. But I can sit in this moment and realize, hey, this is what I'd like. I can't change the future, but I might be able to create it. So that's what you need to think. That's where the appreciation comes from the Sunstormer. And that's where this comes from, because once you start appreciating everything that you have, these dreams and wishes and hopes and whatever it is that you have are going to start manifesting. They may not manifest in the way you expect them to, but they're going to form in some way. And as quickly as you gain it, you can lose it if you do not appreciate what you have. So I think that's a good lesson for any of us. It's definitely a good lesson for me to appreciate everything we have. So I love how these cards go together. I mean, just kind of look at them. Look at them side by side. They're so, you know, they feel very different, and yet they feel very the same. Sorry, there, now you can see it. So I really love this, you know, the sun and the moon. So, and we, as you know, we just had a full moon. We're in a waning moon now. So as we're in the waning moon, whatever you want to let go of, let it go now. So the full moon going into the new moon is your waning moon, which means that if you, whether you believe in the moon cycles or not, they happen. Okay. You can't stop it. They happen. And the waning moon is a time to let go, to release, right? Because it's losing its light and it's moving into, you know, the new moon, which is basically just dark. And then when you have a waxing moon, that's when you put out your intentions. That's when you put out your prayers, your desires, your manifestations, and you trust that process and you let it grow until the full moon. So now is the time to start releasing things. Now that doesn't mean you can't manifest, but if there are things that you want to let go, now's the time to do it. In this, you know, and it's usually a 2-week cycle, right? Like every 2 weeks we get the different moon. I mean, roughly every 2 weeks, not right on the nose. So, you know, yeah, so just try it. And if you're one of those people that are just kind of sitting there going, this is stupid, this is hooey, this is what, try it. What do you have to lose? Right? I grew up, I was raised Catholic, and, you know, and I have nothing against my religion. I used to hold a lot against it because it was, you know, because it was kind of really just forced on me because my mom was Catholic. But as I've gotten older, and with Pope Francis and Pope Leo, I love them. Don't agree with everything they say because, you know, obviously they're the leader of religion and stuff like that. But I love how they embrace people, flaws and all. They don't punish them for it. And I also love how they're not afraid to call out world leaders. These two. They protect the people. You know, they're not protecting the church. They're protecting the people. And you know that there is something to be said about that when a person who is so much like the previous pope gets elected to be pope, because people want him to carry on what that pope did. The only thing my dad's so funny because he's not Catholic. He's not religious at all. He's more like an agnostic atheist. He's just like, why can't they ever find a young pope? He's all, they're always old, which is not wrong, but anyway, it takes time to get there, right? So I have my weird mix of peppermint bark tea with green tea. So anyways, all right, number 34, the fairy tale is. I didn't mean to go in that direction, but oh, that's what I was saying. See, my brain. Rebooting. The point I'm trying to make is that I was taught to not believe in a lot of things. Ghosts were demons, magic was bad, and everything you saw on TV about witches and magic was correct. Absolutely not. None of it's correct. Well, maybe nowadays people are getting a little more accurate, but I mean, come on, seriously? They're movies, but somehow people believe it. Tarot cards, oracle cards, where, you know, like, oh, I got the death card, you're going to die. No, you're not going to die. 9 times out of 10, or 99.9% of the time, that card means that you've either had a death in the family, you might be dying, because, you know, you might have illness or something, or it's the end of a cycle and you're moving into a new phase, which is usually what it means. So, ooh. Allie says she has her Starbucks toffee nut latte made at home. Oh my God, that sounds so good. I'm jelly. I'm jelly. All right, so the fairy tale list. Einstein once said, if you want your children to be intelligent, read them fairy tales. If you want them to be more intelligent, read them more fairy tales. Now is the time to let yourself sink into the wonder and the imagination of a good tale. Also, it's time to remember that your life is a fairy tale. As a myth maker, it's your job to remember that impossible things happen every day and that once upon a time is really here and now. There's power in your true life fairy tale. Live your tale today so magically that even the dragons have a hard time believing it's true. The reason I brought up my upbringing is because I want people to remember that when we were children, and it's just like we said earlier, right, when we were talking about the fairies and my nephew saw one, and he didn't say a light. I mean, he literally said, Mommy, I see a fairy. And we're both like, we had no idea he even knew what they were. And she's like, well, how do you know? And she's like, she told me. And it's like, what? But it was also a validation for her and I, because it's kind of like, oh, you know, and it starts opening your mind again, because she was, you know, she was raised more open-minded. I was raised under religion. And, you know, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with religion, okay? I'm more of a spiritual type person. Occasionally, if I do go to church, it's to be closer to my mom. And on those days when I really miss her, but it's very rare when I do. And I have nothing against my upbringing anymore. I've made my peace with that. It's still very much a part of me and very ingrained in me, but it's not something I follow anymore. But what I like about this card and what it's trying to tell us is to find that innocence we had as a child before the world, you know, conditioned us to not believe, before the world conditioned us that we don't have these gifts inside of us, before the world conditioned us and told us, nope, that's not possible. Why not? I mean, we're told throughout life and by science that we only use about, what, 10 to 15% of our brain. Imagine what can happen if we use a whole damn thing, right? And there's a lot of people who are geniuses out there who probably use a lot of their brain. But imagine what happens if you fully believe in your dreams and your hopes and your wishes. What can come of that? We have to figure out how to break away from these barriers these boundaries and these fortified walls that we put up in our minds, that these things are not possible. Anything's possible. Absolutely, anything is possible. I love dragons. Not sure I want them to be possible because I saw Rain of Fire. But, I mean, if they're nice dragons. I mean, who does not want a pocket dragon? Seriously, I would love a pocket dragon. Kind of like a Mushu from Mulan, right? Just kind of like, you know, little sassy dragon to hang out with you on your adventures. That would not be a bad thing. So, anyways. All right, we have the Enchanted Unicorn Oracle. Okay, wait. I'm going to show you my favorite card. I mean, I love all the cards in here. They're just they're very, watch, it's the top one. I'll die if it's the top one. Oh no, that's not. And there's another one. Oh, there it is. These two are my favorite cards. And every time I see them, they just bring me joy. This is the first one. Look at that face, right? How do you not love that face? It's just like, yeah, I'm a unicorn and I have little cherry blossoms coming out of my head. I'm awesome. And then there's this one. She brings me joy. She's just happy. She's like, I don't give a shit what other people think. I'm eating this cupcake. So I think I'll talk about this on Monday, maybe. But Sibling and I were on our way down, and we had a really good talk. And you know what? I'm going to save it for Monday. So there you go. There's your teaser. But anyways, all right, let's shuffle this deck and these cards and see what we got. Allie, this is a preview of the Tuesday reading. I'm using this deck. But let's see. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. Ooh, there it is. I feel like this might be one of them. All right, one more shuffle. Only two. Only two. Only two. Okay, yay, only two. You're like, you only wanted two. Oh, that's funny. Cupcake. And bury me. Take some time for yourself. Bury me. All right. So this is this right here, I think, is a element symbol. But yeah. Oh, and this one is I think that's an Icelandic symbol of protection or something. Hold on. Where's my book? That one is, you know, guys, I was looking through, I have like 5 journals down here. Way too much. The Helm of Awe, the Nordic symbol for, the Nordic symbol for rising above adversity. So that's this one right here. This symbol right here is the Helm of Awe, the Nordic symbol for rising above adversity and to embolden your inner strength, courage, and fortitude. It inspires confidence. Tell me that does not look like a confident unicorn. That is some seriously confident unicorn right there. So the first one, though, let's get to this one. Bury me. Bury me. So I may be talking about what I was going to talk about Monday because the body positivity card came up. So, you know, you don't just get oracles, you get a lesson. So, so let's do bury me. This is unicorns all chill. Take some time for yourself. Take some time for yourself. So, bury me is a red currant. It's a red currant plant. Okay. Red currants are believed to purify the blood with their astringency and wealth of vitamins and minerals contained within. However, they are sharp and acid and require sweetening. The bright red berries of the red currant resemble tiny rubies and promise better days ahead. Magically, red currants are used in love spells, and this includes self-love rituals. So the reason I'm using this for my group, not my group, but the group I'm in on Tuesday, is because it has unicorn magic. So anyways, divination, bury me, gently reminds us to stop trying to do so much or take too much on. This unicorn with eyes closed is suffering from a busy, scattered mind that says, bury me under the eiderdown and let me rest. I feel like that comes from somewhere. So, yes, Allie, it is a Viking symbol. Well, as we know, because I also read it, the Helm of Awe. But, I love Vikings. I mean, they're scary and pretty much horrible. But who wasn't back in those days trying to take over the world, right? Everybody wanted to rule the world. So, but they left us a lot of interesting traditions. And I love the fact that they had lady warriors. That's right. So, I have very minimal Nordic blood in me, but it's in there. I'm like that tiny little chihuahua that has husky mix, right? So it's tiny, but it thinks it's awesome and big and huge and scary. And, oh, really? She's all, take some time for yourself. That's meant for you, lady. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe. You're probably right. I love my friends. My friends know how to, they just, you know what I love about my friends? They're not afraid to call me out of my shit. And they're not afraid to tell me exactly how it should be and how it needs to be. And I love that. So anyways, this sense of overwhelm stems from putting everyone else first and yourself last, leading to the feelings of anxiety and stress. Practice the art of saying no to demanding work colleagues, friends, and family members. The appearance of this card highlights the classic bitten off more than you can chew trap. Explore the reasons why you do too much for others at the expense of your own mental and physical health. Is it guilt or the need for control? That's a good question. Everyone's overwhelm limit is different, and it is important to remember this. If you feel the need to judge others for not doing, and it is important to remember this if you feel the need to judge others for not doing enough. You may feel virtuous for taking on so many things, but at what expense? Give yourself a much needed break, time to relax and ponder, and space to think and create. Yeah, so, not wrong. Not wrong. So Allie says the Viking women were the land and home owners. They could divorce their husbands. Viking women basically held all the cards. Men had very little control over things. You know what? Now I know why I love the Vikings so much. No wonder they were always away, right? Pillaging. Raping and pillaging, but pillaging nonetheless. Because, they're like, I got to get out of this joint. But yeah, good for them. Good for them. And, we talked about this before, right? About, just really quick, the Viking woman, they found a burial mound and they unearthed the bones. I think it was like in the late 18th, it was at the turn of the 20th century. And for years and years and years, people are like, it's a man, it's a king, it's a somebody. It was a leader of the Viking tribe, blah, blah, blah. Because it had all this ornate stuff around it. It had the weapons, it had the horses. I know. Seriously, I mean, if a Viking dies, it makes me mad that they would kill their horses. But I get tradition, fine. Doesn't make me happy, but whatever. But she was buried with the horses, or that the man was buried with the horses and all the stuff that you would normally think would be a man. Then somebody came along and said, men don't have that kind of pelvis bone. Or something like that. They didn't even identify it at first through DNA. They had identified it by the bones. So whoever discovered it initially, who was probably an anthropologist, was like, no, we're going to say it's a guy, even though it probably is not. Turns out it was a woman. And then people were like, no, it couldn't be, because it started challenging everything people thought about Vikings. Because everybody just always wants it to be the men. Now, I'm not saying men aren't great, because they are, right? I'm a girl. I like boys. Not boys, men. Sorry. Can't say that anymore. But I like the dudes. I mean, whoever, right? I don't care. However you identify, whoever makes you happy. But yeah, then they found out and they did DNA testing and it was a woman. And it kind of shifted all the thinking, like, we have to kind of step back about 100 feet and start looking at this from a different direction about Vikings. And so I like that Allie shared that, because a lot of people don't know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know they were the landowners and the homeowners. That's pretty awesome. But, it's just, this isn't to put men down, okay? Because I don't want any man who might watch this later to feel slighted, okay? Because teamwork makes the dream work, right? Or however, like I said, however you identify. But we're going to go with, this right now, since we're talking about men and women being in these situations together. But the world has taught us that women are secondary. So for women to find out that this set of bones that were so revered, that were in that royal burial mound or whatever it was called, that important burial mound with the horses, with the ornate, pottery and weaponry and jewelry, that it was a woman. Because it turns history a little bit on its head. It shows us that, hey, we're not just good for keeping the house clean and making babies. We're good for a lot of things. And I'm grateful in my own life that I have a girl dad. My dad will see stuff on TV and be like, that's wrong. And I'm just sitting there like, welcome to my world. But no, he'll be that. He is very much a girl dad. And I'm very grateful for that. So, sorry guys. But anyways, oh yeah, she said only women had keys to the home. Only women could ask for a divorce. Men couldn't divorce their wives. They had to wait for the woman to ask for one. Wow. That's, that feels, people will say that's a backward society. That's how it feels now, right? So in the United States, a woman could not get her own credit pretty much until about 1974. So if she wanted to do anything, it always had to be in cash, right? She couldn't buy a house unless she could pay for it in cash. So, and this is 1974. Guys, this is like 51 years ago. Wow. So anyways, Anyway, so bury me. Kind of. We unburied her. So yeah, just, you know, I know we went in a different direction because we started talking about Vikings, which is actually the cupcake card. But take time for yourself. All right. Get the rest you need. Try to figure out why you do things for other people. Is it guilt? Is it control? Is it both? Or is it something completely different out of all of it? Is it fear? You know, I mean, that's some stuff I got to reach into because older sibling and I were talking about that too the other day. And I don't think it's guilt or control. I think it's fear. It's fear. So, yeah, so let's get to the cupcake because she's my favorite. All right, she is my favorite. Her and Blossom. Blossom is my other favorite, as you know, because I showed them to you. So this is the body positivity card. And I love Cupcake. She's adorable. And some people be like, why is there a fat unicorn on there? Well, you can just suck it and stick it in your face. All right. And yes, I said that. And no, I'm not taking it back. We should be kind to one another. All right. And I don't mean just, okay, so whether you're thick or thin, all right, we're going to get a little bit of a lecture here. Whether you're thick or thin, we should be nice to one another because I have heard it from both sides, and both sides will act self-righteous like, well, I don't say anything like that, you know, or I don't say it out loud. But then you have the thicker person that might say, oh, well, that girl needs to eat a burger. So you're no better. If you're sitting there mocking the thinner person because, you know, but you get mad because somebody mocks you, you are still no better. I think it's just best if we all keep our eyes on our own paper. I struggled with body positivity. I struggled with it my entire life, thick and thin. Well, thin and then thick. But I did. I hated my body when I was younger. And there's reasons. You know, we talked about my reasons before. But the point is, one of the things I wanted to share that I was going to talk about Monday, but since this card came up now, older sibling and I were driving down, and I told her, we were talking about something, and I said, yeah, I thought I'd lost more weight, but I guess I didn't, or I gained 5 pounds and blah, blah, but I'm like, oh, well, you know, and she was just kind of stunned because before that would have devastated me and thrown me into a spiral. And I said, but my goal is to be here. And she's like, did you ever think you'd be talking like that, you know, to get to this point? Because I lost over 50 pounds already, or about 50 pounds already. So, you know, and so, but we weren't even thinking about that. We weren't even talking about that. We were talking about the fact that the way I was looking at it was a lot more healthy. Kind of like, yeah, you know, it's taking me forever to get here, but I'm going to get to my goal eventually. And I know I'm going to keep it off because I've worked hard. I've worked to do my best to kind of, you know, be on the non-emotional eating wagon. I've worked hard to realize that when I fall off that wagon, to not, you know, to not rake myself over the coals, just say, hey, get back into the saddle. Okay. And keep going. Can I do anything about it? Nope. It happened. Right. And did it happen? Yes, it did. And it tasted really good. But, you know, I tend to catch myself in these things now. So I feed my cravings because if I don't, I binge. So it's been a lot of work to get where I'm at. And it's been a very slow process in losing all this weight. And it's not about losing the weight, okay? As you can see, I have a scar. This is from when I was 3 years old. I would like to live a lot longer. And the only way to do that is to get myself healthier. But I don't care. If you're happy in your body, that's good. If you're, you know, now I want people to be healthy. So I'm not trying to promote unhealthy things because thick or thin, there are people, right? There's anorexia, there's bulimia, and then there's, you know, binge eating, overeating. There's PCS, which a lot of girls have, polycystic syndrome, which can actually cause severe weight gain. But it's like Allie said, people need to stop looking at the packaging and concentrate on the wonderful person inside. Absolutely. Because you may walk by somebody thinking, oh, and you're going to miss out. That person may be your person. But because you're too busy looking at the outside, you know, not realizing the outside is always going to change. You know, we get older, we grow up. The only time you stop changing is the day you die. All right? So, you know, let cupcake be your guide. Ironically, I don't want a cupcake. Every time I see this card, I want a cupcake, but today I don't. But yeah, so the cherry tree boasts one of the most beautiful blossom displays in the world. The short lifespan of these blooms teaches us to live in the moment and make the most of the here and now. In the metaphysical realm, the cherry fruit is thought of as sweet, innocent, and kind. Sweet cherries have anti-inflammatory properties and help to heal heart disease on both a physical and emotional level. Cherry bark, blossom, and fruit are used in magical work for spells associated with beauty and longevity. Okay, so I'm not going to lie. You know what I want? I want like chocolate with cherries. Is that oh yeah, chocolate covered cherries. But no, but there, I feel like there's a cherry bark, right? Like chocolate, you know, like peppermint bark. But I know, sorry, ding, squirrel. But just to finish my story, the point is that I think older sibling was very proud of me because, you know, I was kind of blasé about the whole weight loss thing and having gained 5 pounds. Like, yeah, you know, but I'll lose it. And that's not something she normally hears from me. So it did go to show in the last year how far I've really come, especially in my body positivity. So not because I've lost the weight, but because my mindset is in a much different place now. Like, yeah, it's going to happen and I can either hate myself for it and make it worse, or I can just be like, okay, it happened. I know I struggle with things. So we get back on the wagon, we get back in the saddle, and we keep going forward. So the divination, the cupcake unicorn appears when your body's size and weight has been playing on your mind. Self-acceptance is the key. This card asks you to lift yourself up from negative judgments that have been created around the size and weight of your physical body. This is the body positivity card. Look how happy she looks. She's like, I don't give a shit what other people think. I'm just going to do me. I'm doing me. Right? She's all, I'm going to do my thing and I'm going to live my life and I'm going to be happy about it and all you people can suck it. This is why I love her, because I feel like if she were to talk, these are the things that she would say. So anyways, this is the body positivity card. Let go of saying, I have to fit into this and I should weigh less. Let go of feelings of shame because of your size. If you are kind and thoughtful and healthy, if you make the most of your appearance and keep yourself clean and comfortable, there is no point in worrying about your weight. You do not judge others on their physical size. Why do you judge yourself? If you are kind to others, why not be kind to yourself as well? There is no such thing as taking up too much space. You are perfect just the way you are. Just as there is a certain height and eye color the body is born with, there is also a certain weight your body likes to be. End the struggle and give your body the credit it deserves for keeping you healthy and alive. Make peace with this amazing body temple you were given to enjoy your journey here on earth. And I have to tell you, I feel a lot better about that. When, you know, sometimes my dad and I will go out, or my cousins and I will go hang out somewhere, and they're like, well, I got to eat this, and I got to eat this, and and I'm just like, no, you know what? I'm just going to eat this because it'll make me happy. Because, you know, I'm tired of saying no to my cravings. You know, this watch is driving me nuts. Sorry. It's not vibing with my energy for some reason. I keep shutting it off. But, ooh, oh yeah, I know what a gâteau is. It's French for cake. Black Forest gâteau, chocolate and cherries. Oh, see, our Black Forest, okay, so there must be a difference between Black Forest gâteau and Black Forest cake. Because oh no, you're right, I'm sorry. I was thinking of German chocolate cake, which is also really good because it has coconut in it. I know, I'm just like, my brain is like, ooh, dessert. I'm also I think one of the reasons I had to stop too, berating myself, is because I love bread. I could live on bread. Okay. It's just some weird thing. But yeah. But anyways, so there, we have all that talk. We did all those things. Just be kind to yourself. Okay. I don't know why or I should point over there because that's where it is. I don't know why the body positivity card came up last, but if you are trying to manifest things, you're trying to manifest all these wonderful, wonderful things, but you hate yourself, whether it's your size, maybe you think you're too skinny, maybe you think you're too fat, whatever it is, just stop. Okay, look in the mirror and love yourself just as you are right now, because that's where the healing begins. Once I started to heal, I started to lose weight because I stopped worrying about everything on the outside. I stopped worrying about what other people might think. I stopped worrying what other people might want. And I started realizing that the person that has to love them, the person that I have to love first and foremost is myself. And I hated myself. I loathed myself for a very, very long time. And it does stop the flow of abundance. It does stop a lot of things. So if you want your manifestations, your desires, your prayers, your intentions to come true, you have got to learn first and foremost how to find that self-love. For me, Carl Jung saved my life. Has he been dead for like 60 years? Absolutely. But the point is, his work carries on. He was a student of Freud, or Freud mentored him, but they kind of came apart at the seams because they moved mentally in different directions. Freud had his idea of what would work. Jung had his idea of what would work. And I think part of the problem with why a lot of people don't really put much stock into Jung is because Jung seemed to go into a new age sort of thinking. And that's why I thought shadow work was new age. But there's nothing new age about shadow work. Shadow work is literally going within, healing whatever it is inside of you or the things that have happened to you throughout your life and letting it go. It's about healing it. It's about facing this part of you that you don't want the world to see, so you hide it away and you don't want to see it either. But you have to. You have to, because that's how you heal it. That's how you make peace with whoever that is inside of you. And when we do that, when we start to find that self-love and that self-worth and that self-respect, we get that flow because we start believing that we're worth it, that we deserve it, that we're capable of not just being good people to others, but accepting the good to ourselves. So, let's see. Allie says, it's probably me again. I'm on Mounjaro jabs for my diabetes and my weight loss has slowed right down. And I've been, oh, okay. Yeah, okay. So there, I'm glad I'm sharing this. You know what? Don't beat yourself up, please. Okay. The body, when it loses a certain amount of weight, tends to plateau. Just because it's not sure. And a lot of times because it thinks that that's the weight you need to lose and that's the amount that you need to be at. I think sometimes we have this ideal in ourselves, like, I want to look like I did when I was 22 years old. But we maybe can get there. I don't know. It's a choice. But shoot for healthy. I think that's the best we can do for ourselves. Shoot for healthy. I'm sorry. My throat was dry. Shoot for healthy. Okay. And I'm here if you need to talk. Okay. Because I do struggle with my body positivity still. It's a part of me that I think is always going to be there. And it's a part of me that I always got to work on. And that I got to just try to figure out, like with my mental health, how to balance and maintain. But work on the self-love. All right. The reason I brought up Carl Jung is because, I have a very wonderful support group, but his shadow work saved my life. Because I had to get into the depths of it. I had to go super dark, super deep. It kind of breaks you. And then you kind of put yourself back together. So if you don't know who he is, I highly recommend looking him up. A lot of people will, again, look at him as being some kind of new age, metaphysical type of psychiatrist. He was not. He knew from his own experiences throughout life what he needed to do to heal himself. And when he did that, he worked on it with his patients and it worked for them. So, if you're not into that, that's fine. I know of other people that it has helped, and I am grateful for that. I've had feedback on that when I did the shadow work show a couple years ago, and I got a lot of good feedback from that. So, Allie, please, I promise it gets better. Don't beat yourself up. And for everybody else, when you start to learn that self-love, the flow will come. And remember, when you're manifesting, praying, setting intentions, have desires, whatever it is, this or something better. Okay? Because if you're asking for something very specific, it may not happen because it may not be meant for you. So this or something better, you know, and the something better is what's meant for you. So don't forget to ask that, this or something better. And Allie says, I'm going to start oh, right, the book. So she says so there's a sinus infection. So this is interesting. And you can do your own homework on this. I'm not going to talk I'm not going to take up any more of your time. I've already taken up over an hour. But look up spiritual meanings of things you might be going through, whether you have a sore ankle out of nowhere, maybe a stomach ache, sinus infection. A lot of times it is just something natural, you know, because we're in sick season now, right? We're getting into winter and fall, and the weather's changing. But sometimes they can also have spiritual meanings behind it. Like, you can get a cold, but if it's very specific to something, it might actually mean something. So, you know, story for another day. But anyways, I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much for hanging in there and hanging out with me today. To my girls, thank you. I appreciate you three coming on a lot, and especially for being there today. Anybody else that might have viewed while we were live, I apologize. I only saw them, so I knew they were on. But I know sometimes people come on and I can't see them, and other people can. But thank you. And for everybody watching this later, thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I love you too, Allie. Take care of yourself. Don't punish yourself, okay? It'll be okay. It'll be okay. I promise you. It may not feel like it, but it will be. Just focus on the self-love. And, you know, and yes, like Sammy said, have a great birthday tomorrow, Allie. Okay. Eat the cake, Sometimes you just got to eat the cake, right? So anyways, again, have a great day, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you back here Monday, 8:30 a.m. Pacific time, Facebook Live. All lives are public under Shelley Marie Lucas. This particular video, because it's over an hour, you're only going to be able to find on YouTube and on Twitter, because I can post the link there, and Threads and Blue Sky. All right. But, so yeah, have a great day, everybody. Again, thank you so much for watching. And one last time, happy birthday to Allie tomorrow. Have a great day. Oh, and have a safe and wonderful weekend.